Reef DVM's coming at you today with kind of an addition thing that we did to the farm here this summer. Took the 26G out and kind of started digging a deep trench. We were going to take and run a new water line, but instead we decided to do it more affordably ourselves and tap off an existing water line that we have for the horses and run another Bar A waterer and an outdoor faucet over across the road, one of our farm roads, to a pasture that's got more beef cattle in it. So we had to dig down about almost 8 feet, and we found the blue water line, big heavy 1-inch water line coming in. This one feeds the previous video we had a year or so back when we put in another Bar A. This is the Bar A taken apart in the horse pasture to shut it off, and we're going to take this 100-foot, real thick, ultra blue, 250, pounds per square inch kind of stuff, and we're going to run another water line. Video was a little hard to get, but I'm basically down in the hole here, and I'm attaching the new line into the water line coming into this water. Certainly we could have attached it at the base of the water, but I kind of want to get before it if I can, so I don't have to disrupt the water. Here it is. We got it attached, 6 stainless steel clamps and a nice T way down there in the depths of it. And then basically what we did is when we took the backhoe and crossed the street and went over to the other pasture 7 feet down, that way we get below the frost line up here in Minnesota. And we came to kind of a T where we're going to put in an outdoor spigot here with a 5-gallon pail over the top of the end to keep crap from getting in it. We're going to have it on a gravel base. And then off of that, we're going to run to a water inside the pasture, another Bar A, no electricity water. So we're starting to put some gravel in there, and this is kind of a backup shot. We can kind of see what we're doing from a distance. We did have to take some 2x4s and some spikes and lay it in the ground, and you can see there's bags on top of the blue hose holding it down as we did some water testing on it. We're going to cut those bags open, lay this inside a gravel bed, and then we're going to put some foam on top just to even give it a little bit more protection because it freezes so deep up here in the north central part of Minnesota. Here's our little tail that we're going to use there. We're going to use that to get to the Bar A. Make sure everything's as level as we can with this, frost faucet because we certainly want it to go in straight. And then you can see I'm just opening up the bag and I'm going to bury the pipe in gravel. Once I have the pipe in gravel, I ripped up some, 1-inch formula foam, and I'm just going to put that along the whole distance. And it's getting cold out here in Minnesota. As you can see, I was wearing gloves in the picture, and it's pretty deep in these holes, but we worked all the way through the night to get this done. We just kept laying that foam in there after we put the gravel in and covering everything up, and then we fired back up the skid steer, the 317G, and also fired up the 26G excavator. And we then just buried this. Again, 7 feet down on a layer of gravel it's sitting in, and then some foam over the top of it. It should hopefully last many, 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 many years. It was a long project. My wife and I did it with the help of our neighbor Chuck, but we did get it done. Here you can start to see we're starting to fill it in. Obviously, we want to beat the frost. We want to get the ground, put back and have some rain on it before it freezes to help with settling and get some more dirt compacted in around it. We went all the way back past the chicken coop with the water, so it was quite a distance that we had to do. Here it is, about a day or so later, we've got it all filled in. Now I'm going to start showing you the water. This is water I've already got a video on, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but we put some insulation wrap around it, and we stuck it in the ground about 7 feet, sitting on a couple tires and about a 4-foot gravel bed, and we kind of lined it up with the post just right so that we could make a nice area for the cattle to come up. And I'm going to set this one in the ground a little bit lower than I did the horse one because, again, I may have some younger calves on this. And then once we got it backfilled, you can see there the water pipe there sticking up. I made a little rock garden around it there just so I don't hit it with the mower. I put some nice wood slats, and of course I've got the hot up and running because I don't want them getting behind the water at all either. And I did put a tire around it just like I did my other one. I do like that. I think it just gives them a little bit more protection. The ground is settling a little bit, so it's going to be a little soft when the cattle are on it this winter. But, that's kind of the way it's going to go. So we're about ready to just turn these cows out and see what it does. As you can see, there's the other one over there. This is the horse one. It's back up and running since we've made the connection. I'm going to show you here. We took Mr. B up to it, my daughter did, and he just pushes on it and sucks away. This particular water, I think, has been in now 2 or 3 years, I forget. It's doing absolutely fantastic. The only maintenance you got to do on these things is, you try to keep them away from, direct contact from where the feed is, because they get them a little dirty, and if they get dirty, they can plug up the drain hole. But the feed for the horses is about, 300 yards away, and probably about 200 yards away is the beef feed, so that the animals got to go back and forth to get to water. So by the time they get there, they're pretty clean. They don't give us much trouble. This is Jewel, one of our big percherons. She can really suck water. It's always interesting as people don't think these bigger animals can use these waters because their head is so big and the cup isn't very big, and they do just fine. They just put those big lips in there and they just suck that water right up, which is fantastic. At this point in time, she's well trained. Mr. B is well trained. These horses are just pros at this stuff, which is fantastic. As far as the beef cattle go, I have at times had to put a little molasses on the paddle to get them used to it. These two here, this happens to be Cole and Bond. They're a couple of our bigger steers right now. They have no problem with paddles. I mean, they come right up, and it started to snow here already. We've already got snow on the ground. And here we sit, the 3rd of November with white stuff already. But these animals really have no problem with it. And as you can see, I put this one a little lower into the ground because, again, if I want to go with calves at some point in this pasture, I want it to really be close to the ground. So this is another Barbar A water. I highly recommend them. They don't use electricity. There's no way of frying your animal. Sure, you got to keep them a little clean. Check them if you can when you're out there feeding your animals. Just make sure they're not clogged up or anything. But they do a really good job if installed right. I've had fantastic luck on them on numerous farms. And these two waters are doing great. The animals love them. Appreciate you watching, folks. Please like or subscribe, and we'll keep putting out great videos like this.